What if I told you there's a room full of people waiting for you in the next room? How does it make you feel? Excited? Terrified? Like you need to shrink? Or show up? Most of us believe that confidence is something that you either have or you don't. But what if it's not that hard? What if I told you that confidence was just a piece of psychology you hadn't learned yet? Hi, I'm Jasmine, and welcome to my channel. Here we talk about all things psychology, studies, theory, practices, and everything we talk about is science-backed. I'm just a student who's absolutely passionate about psychology. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I've got plenty of videos for you to pick from, but for now, let's get into how confidence is really made. Confidence isn't a trait, it's a skill. And like any skill, it's shaped by repetition, belief, and behavior. Psychology shows us that confident people don't feel less fear. They just relate to confidence differently. Albert Bandura's self-efficacy theory explains that confidence grows when we believe in our ability to handle specific situations. It's not about being good at something. It's about believing that you can be. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the belief that you can handle it. So, what are the 4 sources of confidence? According to Bandura's theory, there are 4 categories of confidence that we can use. What he calls self-efficacy comes from 4 core sources. Number 1, mastery experiences. The most powerful source of confidence is doing something hard and surviving it. These are the wins that you've earned through action. Not always perfect, most likely messy, but they do teach the brain, I've done hard things before, but I can do it again. For example, you gave a presentation even though your voice shook. You went to therapy and you told the truth for the first time. Confidence grows by doing, not by waiting. Number 2, vicarious experiences, or modeling. Seeing someone like you do something makes your brain go, maybe I could do that. When you watch someone face a fear, speak up, or lead with grace, your brain stores it as evidence. Representation matters, and so does proximity. For example, your friend spoke up in a meeting. Maybe you saw someone that grew up like you achieve something big. Or maybe you listened to a podcast and the guest's story sounded so much like yours. Surround yourself with examples of what's possible. Number 3, social persuasion. Sometimes confidence is borrowed until it's built. Perhaps you've heard the saying, fake it until you make it. Encouragement from others can plant seeds, but it has to be believable. Not empty flattery, but reminders of actual strength. For example, a mentor might say, I've seen you handle worse. You've got this. A friend might remind you of how far you've really come. Or maybe a teacher says, you're ready. Let others speak life into you until you can echo it back. And number 4, emotional and psychological states. Your body's state affects your brain's belief. If your heart's racing, palms are sweaty, and your stomach is in knots, your brain might interpret this as panic. But what if it's just energy, excitement, aliveness? Before stepping into a big moment, try breathing slower. Straighten your posture, telling yourself that this energy is yours and you can use it how you want. Research shows that how you label your emotions changes how you experience them. By saying, I'm excited instead of I'm nervous can actually boost your performance. These 4 sources are like pillars. You don't need all of them at the same time, but the more you return to them, the more likely that confidence will become your default, not your disguise. So, take control of your nervous system. As we've touched on, confidence isn't just in your mind, it's in your body. If your nervous system is dysregulated, no amount of positive thinking will help you feel calm or in control. When we feel anxious, the brain activates the sympathetic nervous system, your fight, flight, or freeze response. This is your body's way of protecting you. But confidence lives in your ability to soothe that response and come back to safety. Regulating your body helps regulate your mind. Here's how psychology says you can shift your states. The bottom-up regulation. Regulating your body helps to regulate your mind. Number 1, box breathing, also known as neuroregulation. This is a simple but powerful technique used by Navy SEALs, therapists, and athletes. How to do it. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. And you can repeat this for 1 to 2 minutes. Studies show that slow, controlled breathing reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, improves heart rate variability, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and digest mode. A calm body equals a calm mind. Number 2, cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT. CBT helps us to challenge our thoughts, specifically the ones that trigger our nervous system responses. It teaches us to ask, is this thought true, helpful, or balanced? An example of this could be, what if I mess it up? You could reframe by saying, it might not be perfect, but I am prepared, and I've done plenty of hard things before. The evidence for CBT therapy is one of the most empirically supported treatments for anxiety, helping individuals to rewire distorted thinking patterns and reduce psychological stress responses. Not every thought deserves belief. Number 3, grounding techniques, also known as somatic focus. When anxiety hits, it is so easy to spiral. Grounding helps to pull you back into your body and also helps to pull you back to being present. A really well-used technique for this, the 5-4-3-2-1 method. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This will help to anchor yourself in the present. You don't have to wait for confidence to arrive. You create it by shifting your body, calming your mind, and just showing up anyway. So, rewriting your inner dialogue. Now here's something that confident people do. Whether consciously or unconsciously, they talk to themselves differently. And the good news, you can too. The way we speak to ourselves matters. The inner voice becomes our inner world, shaping how we show up in relationships, work, and even in moments of risk. Cognitive psychologists call this reframing. Changing the way you interpret a situation to shift the emotional impact. Something I find really useful in these moments. Rather than listen to the voice saying, I'm so embarrassed, just make it stop. Or I'm feeling really anxious, we should just leave. I tell myself that I'm really curious about the topic or situation, and that feeling inside my body is just the excitement to understand. This really helps my brain to switch the narrative, specifically from fear to confidence. Now, obviously, this does depend on the situation. If you're actually in danger or in a high-risk situation, probably not the best technique to use. But this one is great if you're feeling anxious about a job interview, maybe you have to present something, or maybe you're meeting someone new. This genuinely does help to shift that brain and refocus your energy into something that's a little bit more positive. But this technique does help to relax the body, the mind, and of course, relieve most of the discomfort of the fear that you're feeling. So what does reframing look like? Most of us have an internal critique, formed early in life, from teachers, parents, or peers. Just because it feels familiar doesn't always mean that it's true. For example, you could say, I'm terrible at speaking in front of people. You could pause and reframe that thought to, I feel nervous, but I'm learning. I don't need to be perfect in order to be heard. 2, speak with compassion. Dr. Christian Nerf's research shows that self-compassion, not self-criticism, is a foundation of real growth. The inner voice of a confident person isn't flawless, but it is supportive. You could practice something like, this is hard, and I can handle it. I'm proud of myself for trying. What would I say to a friend right now? If you wouldn't say it to your friend, you probably shouldn't say it to yourself. And number 3, name the voice. This is actually one of my favorite things to do. If I'm in a particularly bad mood or sleep deprived and I say something rude or snappy, I like to call her the beast. And immediately me and my partner laugh about this because it is something that is really funny. And the moment I've done it, the moment I've been rude or maybe a little bit impatient, I immediately turn and go, I'm so sorry, that was the beast. And it makes it fun, it makes it playful, but also I'm accountable. I'm making something that feels like it could be bad as something that actually was unintentional. It was an immediate knee-jerk reaction, and I am sorry. I'm creating distance between myself and thoughts and reframing them, but also this tip is helping you understand yourself too. Psychologist Dr. Ethan Kross suggests that internalizing the inner critique helps us gain distance. Giving it a name, imagine it in a silly voice, the more you observe your thoughts instead of absorbing them, the less power they hold. Rewriting your self-talk isn't toxic positivity. It's about accuracy, kindness, and reclaiming control of the story in your head. You don't have to believe every thought. Confidence comes from action. You can't just think your way into confidence. It is about action. At some point, you have to act. And not just once either, but enough until your brain rewires itself to believe that you can handle any situation. As we've touched on earlier, Albert Bandura called this self-efficacy, your belief in the ability to influence outcomes through your actions. But this is built through one thing: experience. Confidence doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means trusting that you can handle whatever happens, even if it goes wrong. Start small, using exposure therapy in practice. Exposure therapy, which was originally used to treat anxiety, works by gradually facing fears in manageable doses. And confidence very much works in the same way. If you want to become better at speaking up, start with putting your hand up in the classroom. Want to feel more assertive? Practice saying no in low-stakes situations. You don't need to leap, you just need to take a tiny step on the ladder. Let it be messy. Growth does not come from flawless execution. It comes from surviving the uncomfortable and realizing you're still okay. Each time you face your fear and you come out the other side, your brain logs that as evidence. It says, I did that. I can definitely do that again. Confidence is a result of brave, repeated behavior. Not perfectionism, not constant reassurance, just doing the thing even if your voice shakes. And finally, the science of confidence. Confidence isn't a personality trait. It's a skill, a practice, a quiet agreement with yourself that you'll keep showing up, even if it's awkward, even if it's uncomfortable, and even when it's hard. It doesn't shout, it whispers. I'm allowed to take up space. So a very brief summary of what we've explored today: your nervous system and how to regulate it, how your inner dialogue shapes your belief system, how action creates confidence, and that you don't always need to feel confident in order to act confident. You don't have to feel ready to start. You just have to start. And the confidence will come with experience. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. That is everything I have to share with you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you do like these kind of videos, I've got plenty more for you to pick from. I'll link them down below for you. If you do have any questions, please ask down below and I'll try my very best to answer them. All the information that I've used today is psychology backed, theory, practice, and psychologists. But that's it for now. Bye.